Good morning, friends and beautiful people. This is my third take. I keep playing with my thing and I end up messing myself up. So we're just going to do the onion video and I'll talk to you about the other things I was talking about in another video. So this is me this morning. No shame in my game. No makeup, no shower. Just a girl playing in the dirt. So what we're going to do is we are going to plant onions today. So Hubs drew me a line. We both are a little OCD. We like for these things to be straight. And here's what we have. So I save my seeds for my onions, and I literally just scatter them. I'm trying to get this so that it won't fall. I scatter them onto dirt in one of my, I think they're called 820 trays or 1620 trays or whatever. I scatter them on there and put a little dirt on top and start them from seed. So let me see where you are and where I am. All right, so what I do, and like I said, I had made this video once. I come in here and I take off the first little bit of growth. You don't want to cut more than half of it off. All right, so we took that off, and then if you want to use this for salad greens, you can. And then I lift these up. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you a larger onion. And I just separate them with my fingers. Oops, there you go. It's hard to do one-handed. I'm having to hold this. And then I take, good, my fingernail's nice and dirty so you can see where it ends. I put the bottom of the onion at the end of my fingernail, and then I will literally just push it into the ground up to where my thumbnail is right now, if you can see that. There we go. A little bit more. Just to about right where my thumbnail is. There we go. And you gotta make sure you get all those roots in there. But I literally just use my finger nail to push that into the dirt. I don't do any digging or anything like that. I know some people do. And that's how I plant those onions in the ground. And I'll go down through there. So Hubs has tilled up the garden. You can see the black plastic back there. He has tilled all of that up for me. We'll put it's not plastic, the weed barrier. We'll put the weed barrier back down before we plant some things. But today we'll plant onions, shallots, red onions, and the sweet potato slips down through here. And then we'll get the pumpkins and the corn in the ground. I think actually he's going to plant the corn right there, and the pumpkins are going to have to find a new home. So let's see here. There we go. Hopefully my husband isn't, there we go. He's pulling in a diesel truck, so things get a little loud. So what we do here, there you go, is when we stretch this out, we'll burn holes into that. Some of it already has holes. Right now what it has is for the pumpkins, and just the spacing wise. We have staples, and we'll spread that out over there, and it helps. You still get some weeds that pop up through the holes. There we go. Our little trees over there. Our grapes are finally starting to, they're slow this year. They're finally starting to get some buds. So I want to talk to you about my little trip yesterday. I went to the grocery store, and for those of you who know me, know I don't go to the grocery store. Hubs does that. Ah, I see. There's where he's putting the pumpkins and the sunflowers. I think we're going to put the pumpkins and sunflowers in there together. So I went to the grocery store. My daughter's in town from Florida. My son was having a cookout. And anyway, long story short, I had to go to the grocery, and I don't usually go. Friends, there was nothing on the shelves. And at work, we've been hearing some things about what's going on. So there's two sides of business for food manufacturers. There's the retail side and what's called the food service side. The food service side takes care of your restaurants, your bars, your hospitals, nursing homes, places like that. And the retail side takes care of you, the consumer, the end user. And what's happening is companies like Tyson and Purdue Chicken are pulling out of selling chicken on the food service side. So they aren't going to supply chicken to restaurants, hospitals, bars, blah, blah, blah. But they will still supply to you. And part of that is the avian bird flu, and part of it is not, because they were making those decisions before this bird flu came out and we started killing all the chickens and getting rid of all the eggs. So they pulled out, and that's going to help you, the consumer, because you're going to still be able to get some of those things. But a lot of your restaurants and bars are going to get hammered. And we keep seeing, this is the part where I get in trouble at work, because I had to stop doing my food shortages videos. But I figured if I stuck it in here, none of them would stick around long enough to hear it. We're seeing 30 to 40% price increases across the board, plus fuel surcharges while the fuel costs are high. And what's happening is a lot of companies are saying you have to do pickup only because we can't afford the fuel, and our drivers can't afford the fuel if they're independents to bring it to you. So if you want it, come and get it. And that's all well and good if you weren't in, let's say, New York, and the product you needed was in California. So so anyway, I go to the grocery store and I see all these empty shelves, and plus I have all this stuff being hammered at me as far as shortages. And again, we're doing line consolidations where we may have 20 chicken breasts available to schools and restaurants right now, but we're going to consolidate that down to 10, and you have to pick from those 10 because we don't have enough chicken to process everything. So I'm seeing all that stuff, and then driving by the gas station, and it's $4.59 a gallon, and I'm thinking, well, if you can afford the gas to go to the grocery store, there's nothing when you get there. So it was just a day. And we are all about food security here. Yesterday, it just kind of struck me that we need to be more intentional. And when I say we, I don't just mean me, friends. I mean all of us, about making sure that our families are fed. And if that means planting more food, I'm going to hammer it at you. We need to plant more food. And here on our farm, we are trying to plant enough for a lot of people. If anything were to go sideways and our kids couldn't get food at the grocery store, we have 6 kids who are married. We have 8 grandchildren now. And then there's my mama, there's Macedonian neighbor, and then we've got some close friends that, here we are trying to take care of everybody. So that's what we're doing. And if you have the ability to do that, I would just beg of you to do it. Like I said in previous videos, I will send you seeds. So this is a new bed for us. This is a medicinal bed. And if you'll notice, it's close to the bee boxes because most of my medicinals are great feeders for the bees, and the bees love them. So it's just a win-win for them. I got to get that chamomile that's grown in the high tunnel out here before it takes over. And I'll probably even move some of my sage over here. But we've got a lot of exciting things coming out here this year. And I've got safflower and a lot of seeds that I've started. I waited till after I started all my vegetables because I felt like that was more important. My rooster wants you to know that he's here. I felt that was more important than the medicinals short term. Long term, I'm going to need those medicinals. So I will, let me show you a few other things we got going on here, and then I got to get to work. So this is the asparagus bed. She's finally taken off. We harvested some. This is one of the two. We harvested some, and we're going to let the rest go to seeds. We'll drop the seeds in there. There's all kinds of new coming up, and I need to get in there and weed again. Actually, I need to get in there and put some more compost in. But we'll save some seeds, and we'll let some seeds drop, and we'll let that fill in. And then we have the infamous strawberry bed. So in the middle is the bed, and then out here is where it came to. And the goal was to get that other bed built and get these guys moved, and then they started to flower. I did get the inside bed. I got it weeded real nice. So we're gonna have a ton of strawberries this year. I even offered free strawberries to anyone who wanted to come and dig them up. And since I wasn't going to just supply them to them bare root for free, they decided that they would just go buy some. So there's that. Hubs did get the second strawberry planter built. Of course, now that they're flowering, that's not going to happen this year. So what we're going to do, we're supposed to get a really hard rain today. So that'll settle down those wood chips some. I'll come in, put some dirt and compost on. I might have to dig some of those out if he filled that too full. And then we're just going to put some tomatoes in there this year and some basil. And by the time those are done, then it'll be okay to transplant some of those strawberries. So friends, don't just sit in front of that computer screen today. Do something. Get out in the fresh air. Start a community garden. Plant in a community garden. I know a lot of apartment complexes are putting in those community gardens for their residents. Jump in there. Our food system's going to need all the help it can get. We're not going to run out of food, but the things that you want to buy, you're not going to be able to buy. And you can call it food limits right now when you're going to the store, or you can call it food rationing. I think that we're avoiding the word rationing because it'll get everybody's hair in a dander. So until next time, be blessed and be a blessing. Here soon I'm going to do my video on companion planting, which we are definitely going to need this year. Be blessed.